My name is Elena, and I was 28 then, slowly piecing my heart back together after a breakup that left me scared to trust again. But Alex made waiting feel like the most beautiful kind of promise. We had met 6 months earlier at the little second-hand bookstore near the park. I was ducking in from a sudden rain, shaking water from my hair, when I saw him browsing the poetry shelf. He was looking for an old copy of some quiet poems, and I was just trying to catch my breath. Our eyes met over a stack of dusty books, and we started talking. That first conversation stretched into 2 cups of coffee at the cafe next door and a shared umbrella walk to the bus stop. From that day on, everything between us grew slowly, carefully, like something precious we both wanted to protect. We shared long walks along the river when the streetlights flickered on. We sent late-night messages about silly things and deep things. We built playlists together, song by song, each one saying what we were too shy to speak out loud yet. There were tentative kisses at the end of dates, soft, sweet touches of lips that left me smiling all the way home. We held hands under restaurant tables, his fingers warm and steady around mine. But we never rushed. My last relationship had ended in hurt and broken promises, so I needed time. Alex understood without me having to explain. He showed up with soup when I caught a cold. He listened on my hardest days. He waited, patient and kind, letting me open up one quiet piece at a time. That Saturday afternoon, I had the apartment to myself. Mom was out at the market, and I decided to treat myself to a long bath. I filled the tub with hot water and a scoop of lavender bath salts. The steam rose soft and fragrant, wrapping around me like a hug. I sank in until the water reached my shoulders, closed my eyes, and let my thoughts drift to Alex. The way his smile lit up when I said something that surprised him, the gentle strength in his arms when he carried Mom's heavy bags up the stairs, the quiet way he looked at me like I was the only person who mattered. My skin felt warm and sensitive just thinking about the last time we had sat close on the couch, his arm around me, my head resting against his chest. I was smiling to myself, eyes still closed, when I heard the front door open. "Elena, I'm back sooner than I thought," Mom called cheerfully. "And guess who I ran into in the produce section?" My heart jumped. I knew that low, familiar laugh before she even finished. "Hey," Alex said from the hallway, sounding surprised but happy. I sat up so fast the water splashed. Mom appeared in the doorway, arms full of canvas bags, with Alex right behind her. "He was trying to convince the cashier that slightly bruised tomatoes are sweeter," Mom laughed. "I told him he had to come in and say hello properly." Heat rushed to my cheeks. I was still in the tub, bubbles up to my chin, hair damp and messy. "I'll be right out," I managed to say. Mom waved a hand. "Take your time, sweetheart. I'll put these away and then pop over to Mrs. Patel's to return her book. You two can visit." She gave me a quick, knowing look that made my face even warmer, then headed to the kitchen. The apartment fell quiet, except for the soft drip of the faucet. "You okay in there?" Alex asked gently, his voice carrying that smile I loved. "Yes," I laughed, a little nervous. "Just give me a minute." I stepped out, wrapped myself in my softest towel, and hurried to my room. My hands shook a tiny bit as I pulled on black leggings and an oversized cream sweater that slipped off one shoulder. I brushed my damp hair and left it loose and wavy. When I walked into the living room, Alex was leaning against the kitchen doorway, arms loosely crossed, waiting for me. Our eyes met, and everything else faded. He straightened slowly. I whispered, "Hi." He crossed the room in a few easy steps. Without a word, he reached for my hand. His fingers were warm from carrying the bags, a little rough at the tips from weekend projects. He laced them through mine the way he always did, deliberate, gentle, like our hands had been waiting for this exact moment. My pulse quickened under his thumb. "You smell like lavender," he murmured. "I was in the bath," I admitted, feeling my cheeks warm again. "I know." His smile deepened. "Your mom mentioned it. She also said she's heading out again soon." We both laughed softly, still holding hands. Mom reappeared, coat on, scarf around her neck. "I'll be gone maybe 40 minutes, an hour if she wants tea and gossip. Coffee's fresh if you want some." She looked between us with sparkling eyes. "Behave, you two." "We always do," Alex said with mock seriousness. Mom rolled her eyes fondly and left. The door clicked shut behind her, and the quiet wrapped around us like a blanket. Alex lifted our joined hands and pressed a slow kiss to my knuckles. His lips lingered there, soft and warm. "I didn't mean to interrupt your afternoon." "I'm glad you did," I whispered. He studied my face for a long moment, then asked quietly, "Can I hug you?" I nodded. He drew me in carefully, his arms closing around me like I was something precious. I pressed my cheek to his chest and felt the steady beat of his heart. He smelled like fresh air and warm bread, and that quiet cedar scent that was just him. I wrapped my arms around his waist and held on tight. We stood like that, breathing together, the months of careful closeness finally letting us lean into each other. He eased back just enough to look down at me. His fingertips brushed a damp strand of hair from my cheek and stayed there, gentle against my skin. "I've been thinking about you all day," he said softly. "Me too." His gaze dropped to my lips. My breath caught. "Elena," he said, his voice a little rougher now, "if I kiss you right now, I don't think I'll want to stop." I tilted my chin up. "Then don't." He exhaled, shaky and relieved, and his mouth touched mine. The kiss was slow and careful, full of everything we had held back for so long. His lips moved over mine gently at first, like he was learning every feeling. One hand cradled the back of my neck while the other rested warm at the small of my back. I rose onto my toes, my fingers curling into his shirt, drawing him a little closer. When we parted, both breathing unevenly, he rested his forehead against mine. "I've wanted to kiss you like that for so long," he whispered. "Me too." He kissed me again, deeper but still so tender. His hand slid down my arm, fingers tracing the inside of my elbow. I shivered, not from cold, but from the way every touch felt like a promise. He smiled against my lips. "Cold?" he asked softly. "No," I murmured. "Just feeling you." He pulled back enough to meet my eyes. His were dark and serious. "I don't ever want to rush you," he said. "If anything feels too much, you tell me. Promise?" "I promise." I lifted my hand to his cheek. "I trust you, Alex." Those words seemed to settle something in him. His throat moved as he swallowed. He kissed me again, slow and reverent, like he was saying thank you with every touch. We drifted toward the couch without really deciding. He sat first and gently tugged me down, so I settled with my knees on either side of his hips. His hands found my waist, thumbs brushing slow, soothing circles over the soft fabric of my sweater. I leaned in and kissed the corner of his mouth, then along his jaw, then the spot just below his ear that made him draw in a quick breath. "Elena," he breathed, his voice low. I smiled against his skin. "Yes?" "You're going to undo me," he said with a quiet laugh. "Good." He tilted my chin up and kissed me again, long and deep, full of all the longing we had carried. My fingers slid into his hair. His hands moved up my back, pressing me closer until our bodies fit together perfectly. We kissed until our lips felt soft and warm. We kissed until breathing felt like something we had to remind ourselves to do. His hands stayed gentle, exploring my arms, my shoulders, the curve of my waist, the line of my spine. Every touch felt intentional, like he was saying without words, "I see you. I want you. I'm here." At some point we shifted, so I lay back against the cushions, and he hovered above me, braced on his forearms. He looked down at me with an expression that made my chest feel full. "You're so beautiful," he said simply. I reached up and traced the line of his cheekbone. "So are you." He lowered himself slowly until our bodies pressed together in a warm, grounding way. The solid feel of him felt safe. His hand found mine again. He threaded our fingers together and pressed my palm into the cushion beside my head. He kissed my wrist, then my palm, then the inside of my forearm, open-mouthed and lingering. Then he moved to my throat, my collarbone, the sensitive skin just above the neckline of my sweater. Each kiss landed soft and full of care. I arched slightly, wanting more closeness. He made a quiet sound against my neck. "Tell me what you need," he murmured. "You," I whispered. "Just like this." He lifted his head, our eyes locked. "Then that's what you'll have." We stayed wrapped in each other on that couch for what felt like hours, kissing, holding, breathing the same air. His fingers drew lazy patterns on my arm, my hip, the nape of my neck. Mine learned the shape of his shoulders, the dip at his collarbone, the way his pulse quickened when I pressed my lips to the side of his throat. There were long stretches of quiet where no words were needed, just the soft rhythm of our breathing, the small rustle of fabric as we shifted closer, the tiny hitch in his breath when my fingertips grazed the back of his neck. At one point, he pulled back slightly, eyes searching mine. "I love how you feel against me," he said. "I love being here," I answered. He kissed me again, slow and consuming, full of longing that had finally found a safe place to rest. When he drew back, we were both breathing a little faster. "I could stay like this forever," he whispered. "Me too." But then we heard Mom's key turn in the lock. We sprang apart, laughing breathlessly like teenagers caught in a secret. I smoothed my hair. He straightened his shirt. By the time Mom stepped inside, we were sitting side by side on the couch, hands still clasped tightly between us, faces flushed but trying to look calm. She took one look at us and grinned. "Coffee is still